Welcome back, everybody, to our Pokemon ranking series. This is part 3 of our regional Pokemon rankings. I have done the whole of Galar and Alola from Gen 7 and 8, but I got a little bit of Gen 8 left with Hisui and some Paldean Pokemon to rank for you today. So let's get right back into it. As we're going, remember we're looking at design, the implications of the region, or how much does it evoke the region and the real life place that it's based off of, and just preferences and notes. Now we'll start with Hisui because that is logical order. I forgot. I did not hit my regional Linoon. So let me give you a regional Linoon. Regional Linoon, Galarian Linoon, I'm going to give a C2. I'm going to be honest, this is more just personal vibe. I like Linoon. I like the Badger look to it. And I like the... Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it a B. I like the Badger look being even more evoked in Linoon. I think that's cool. I am from the Badger state. That helps. But I don't like the hanging tongue. I think it looks cute and is the right vibe with the Zigzagoon. I don't think Linoon has the same vibe. It looks like more like this toxic thing, but not in the right way. Not my kind of personal cup of tea. So that's why I give it a B instead of an A. My apologies on missing that Galarian Pokemon. Just saw it. So now we're on to Hisui. We'll start with it. Why don't we get to our starters? So where should I start? I'm going to go with one of my boys. Decidueye is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. This is how much I like this design. I prefer the Alolan Decidueye. I think it's a perfect Pokemon. If you saw my starter Pokemon rankings, I'm very prone to liking Rowlet. I love Decidueye. I gush about it every time I can. Hisui and Decidueye, it's one of those Pokemon that I think I'd seen that first. I would have loved it, and then I had seen a regional that was the OG Decidueye. I would lose my mind because I think I would pick Hisui and Decidueye 10 out of 10 times if it was in a starter group, unless it was the OG. I love the Eastern style hat vibes and the feather vibes to it. I think it's great. It gives off fighting Pokemon, but not in an overpowering sense to take away from the Pokemon. The color scheme changes are great. I do enjoy that. And I love the fall look. I think it's such a unique, different color scheme take on a grass Pokemon. So I really, really adore that for Hisui and Decidueye. So Hisui and Decidueye is an S. Chef's kiss, beautiful Pokemon. Hisuian Typhlosion, on the other hand. Where are you? There we are. I'm going to give it a C. I guess I can see Ghost in the back with the collar, but I think the collar... Actually, I'm not going to lie. I really don't like it. It's D. It's not F territory because it's not a complete failure in my mind. But I think the collar is the obvious take that makes the original Typhlosion awesome. And then to ruin the collar... and to give it this odd... And it looks like it has Miss Drevis's neck piece, but Typhlosion doesn't need that. And I hate the little, like, curly Q cuts of the neck and the more weasel-like vibe that it has in the design. I just don't think it works personally well. I do get why it's a ghost. I can see the flames in that purple, and it looks a little bit more weathered and Halloweenish, but it's just not great in my mind. And then Hisui and Samurott. I think Samurott's great on the back half. I'll give the Hisuian version this. I think the dark typing is really well used in this by just changing the color scheme to make it darker. I love the mustache being incorporated into this like giant savage beast thing where it's just like it's not a mustache, it's a giant blade coming off its head. That's pretty cool. Incorporating that off the original design, I think that's really well done. I just think the original Samurott is really well done, and this one is doesn't hit the same notes. So I'd give it a B. It's not like Typhlosion where it's major negative. I think there's still a lot of positives in this one. Just not as good, personally. Alrighty. Hisuian. Alright. Where are we going next? Let's just go to Voltorb. Let's do it. Hisui Voltorb is a B for great conceptual idea. I love the fact that they took the OG Pokeball, which Voltorb is obviously based off of, and then changed it into this wood carving idea. I think it's great. The eyebrows are a bit odd for me, but I still vibe with it. It's cool. But I love the idea of history taking place in front of our eyes in reverse. And I love that. I love that it looks happy because it's more of the original exploration of Pokemon. And then Voltorb is more how industry and how culture's changed and have ruined nature. The OG one looks like pissed. This one doesn't. This one looks happy, and it's more of the exploration of making friendships with Pokemon and understanding why Pokemon are positive in the world. So I like that. I think that's really cool. Assuming Voltorb's a C because, frankly, or Electrode is a C. Actually, I'll give it a B. I think it's an improvement over the original Electrode, but mostly because of the Batman eyes, and I'm just such a Batman fan that's there. But I think it takes away from the vibe set by Voltorb, that it's happier, but I think it's a cooler interpretation in some aspects of the design than the original Electrode, so I'll give it a B. Hisui and Quillfish, to me, is an A. I think Quillfish is one of those kind of forgotten Pokemon, and I like how they took the original details and made it far more poisonous, far more intimidating, and it looks far more like a threat. That I really enjoy the Quillfish design. I think that's great. So I'm going to give it an A. I feel like I'm rushing through these. I'm not trying to rush them. It's just, sometimes I don't have much to say. Hisui and Sneasel, on the other hand, I'll give a C. The color scheme I don't hate. The vibe I don't hate. I just think it's a lesser dumbed down version of the original Sneasel. That hits so many vibes of character well done. The typing comes through in a very subtle way, which is really cool. I don't think you get a lot of idea of what this Pokemon is if you just saw this version of Sneasel. I don't think it. To quote a friend, I don't think it slaps as hard. If that makes sense. I just don't think it. The design is not as cool as the original Sneasel, so I'll give it a C. Oh, I feel like I'm rushing. I'm not trying to rush, guys, though. Hisui and Lilligant, I'm going to give a C again. Interesting idea. Like the dancer vibe. I don't think it's a bad execution of the dancer vibe, but it's kind of what it is. And I don't think Lilligant is a perfect Pokemon by any stretch either, so it's a C. You know, nothing bad, but it's there. Cool. Hisui and Zorua, on the other hand, or Zorua, is an A for me. I love the color scheme. I love that it fits really well in the environment. It's for shonen, so it makes sense as to why it's white, so it can blend in, and that hits on its character notes. That's genius. I love the wisping malice tail and the character vibes. I think that is tremendous. Honestly, Hisui and Zorua is awesome. It's just awesome because the character vibe is there. So it fits the region oddly because of where it was put in the region and how it's trying to blend in and tell a story. That's great. I love that. But I like how the white still implies that there's some purity to it and it doesn't want to be hurt, where the original way we see Zorua from Unova, or the Unovan version, is dark as it's trying to cope and knows it shouldn't be a part of society. Where like the white in suit, like incites the idea of purity and that it still wants to be part of something. It just doesn't want to be hurt. So I love that. And then Hisui and Zoroark, again, it's an A because it hits all those themes, but it looks far more like this cruel malice Pokemon. It kind of looks like what, if you played Breath of the Wild, which I hope everybody does because it's one of the best games of all time. It looks like if, one of the blights of Ganon took over Zoroark. That's kind of what it looks like to me, which, rad. But I love the idea that it continues this idea of malice and cruelty towards it, and it starts attacking because that's what it's learned it needs to do. So the character vibes are there. It's so smart character-wise. And it still keeps the white to blend in with the environment that it's in, but also the white is far less than in the original Zoro. That Zoroark has... It's still white. It still has some pure thought to it, but it's out to get you because of how much it's been hurt, and I appreciate that character work so much. Now, Hisuian Braviary, I will give a B to. I like it, and I like the color scheme of the overall bird more. The psychic typing is odd. It just kind of like, why? I don't know. It's like kind of like someone did a drawing almost, and it was like, oh, what if I had this like glowing headpiece? That'd be cool. Yeah, but I don't know if it works as an overall Pokemon. But I love the darker contrasting gray and white color scheme a lot more. I think that's really, really cool and works really well. I'm just not crazy about the headpiece compared to the original headpiece. But still very cool. Braviary is a cool Pokemon in general. So I'm going to give it a B. I think it's great. Now, Avalugg, on the other hand. I'll give Hisui and Avalugg a C because of this. I think the 4-piece on the face, those frontal pieces of this like blade-like ice are an odd choice because I think it's a great idea and concept, but then when you put it into action, it's just kind of like, huh, okay. It's almost like they were like trying to make it like more beastly, but it just doesn't work out as well in my opinion. I like the rock vibe because I think that hits more what they were trying to do with it. I just think the crystal or ice on the face is a bit odd. So that's why I have it as a C. I don't think it's as good as the original Avalugg, but I like Avalugg, so I'm cool with it being there. And it looks like, unless I am mistaken, no, that looks correct. That is all of Hisui. So we're going to move on to Paldea. And we're officially done with Gen 8 and into Gen 9. So, Tauros. Let's be honest here. They're all the same. They're all the same. I like the black look. I like the black look. I think that's it. I think it looks cooler than the original Tauros. But what changes outside of the fact that they made it black? It's almost like they used Hot Topic logic. Let's just make something we like black and it'll be cooler. Okay? But what are you going to do? No, we gave it a little bit of red or a little bit of blue. I think that's a nice little subtle nod in there, but it's like all three of them. What bothers me is I think there's a lot of room for growth in Tauros. And when you find out, oh, there's a regional Tauros, you're like, oh, that makes so much sense for a region based in Spain. The running of the bulls, being such a cultural touchstone in Spain. That's ingenious to have Tauros involved. From a Pokemon angle, that's great. And then you're like, well, what'd they do with it? What'd they do with it? And then you're like, oh, they just made it black. So the first time you see it, you're like, oh, that's awesome. And then it doesn't stick with you at all. And that's why I gotta give it a C. It's just there. It makes it black and that's it. Which the black is cool, but that's it. It's a bit frustrating, to be honest, because I think there's a lot of room for growth there. And then moving on, I'm checking my screen here just to make sure. Wow, there really isn't that many regionals to look at. I think I have a horrible feeling I'm missing one, but I'm apologizing to anyone who sees that. I'm going to give Paldea and Wooper a B. I'm apologizing if I'm missing a regional here. I thought I had them all on this one, but I swear for some reason I'm just going crazy and forgot a few. My apologies on that one. But Paldea and Wooper is tremendous. Because it just, the subtle changes in the bones instead of the fin look, or the antenna look, tremendous. I love that vibe for Paldea and Wooper. I love the skull and crossbones look. That's just great. Really hits my style of liking stuff. And the brown color scheme gives it more of that mud swamp look. I love that. So still gives ground, but then also poison. Tremendous idea. Love that. It looks like that is all of our regional variants. These are all regional evolutions. Maybe I will rank these one day. I think this could be a good talking point group entirely. But this is our regional variants. In short, I think a lot of positive from regional variants. 3 Fs. Well, Mr. Mime is always going to be an F. 4 Ds. Failed concepts, I guess. C's, they're there, they're cool, but there's a flaw to them that's kind of hard. B is more of a, hey, this positive vibe to it, and there's a lot of B's. A lot of A's, with 10 A's, it says a lot. And I'm looking at half of them going, I should probably have them higher. And then to have 7 S's is just truly tremendous work on the part of the Pokemon Company and the whole entire Pokemon team on thinking outside the box with these. So incredibly well done, but that is all of our regional variants. As always, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me on this video and everything that you do with this channel and everything I do online. It's greatly appreciated, all your feedback. If you haven't seen so far, I've got polls up, so I want to connect with you guys a lot more on YouTube. So go look at those polls. Give me some answers to those questions. I want to get your feedback. I always want to know that. I'm getting into the YouTube short game, so if you like that shorter, quicker content, it is there for you with Pokemon pack openings and a few other things. But Pokemon pack openings are still there. And my custom region, which I think goes really well with the idea of regional Pokemon variants, is up and running. And I'd love for you guys to check that out. That is my pride and joy, and something I really am so proud to share with you guys. I hope you catch that. And you can follow me anywhere you can. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. I'm there, and you're going to find great stuff. So thank you so much again for joining me, and thank you for the support so far. It is greatly appreciated. But in the meantime and in between time, peace, love, and hugs. I'll catch you later. Bye.